Welcome to Comic Construction. This video will be a bit different. I'm comparing the G.I. Joe Compendium Kickstarter hardcover versus the softcover release. I didn't back the original Kickstarter for multiple reasons. One was I didn't know how the printing would be, considering that the IDW Complete G.I. Joe collection had terrible printing. And with the page count being over 1,200, I was worried that they were going to use like a glossy paper type and then it would be too big a book for me to be comfortable with. When I saw the printing in the softcover release and found out that the hardcover had matte paper as well, I broke down and bought a set. I had to pay the latex. So first, let's look at the build of the hardcover. This book is a standard size hardcover at 7 by 10.5 inches with 1,224 pages. It comes in a box that holds all 4 volumes and measures 11 by 12 3/8 by 7.5 inches. The hardcover is a faux dark blue leather with embossed imagery and spot red and silver metallic foils. That carries over onto the spine as well. The back just has like embossing. The binding is sewn with a black head ribbon, a white ribbon bookmark, and a flat spine. The edges of the pages have this red metallic ink printing. And the interior sheet is a really nice matte paper. It's very smooth and flexible. It's really beautiful. The paper keeps the weight of this book really low despite the page count. Now, I'm sure more of you have seen the softcover, but we'll run over that really quickly. This is 6 by 9 1/16 by just shy of 10 1/4 inches. The size difference is due to the actual cover of the hardcover book. The softcover has a thick cardstock cover, is perfect bound, and of course is printed on newsprint. With that out of the way, we're going to compare the books. The hardcover weighs 5.6 pounds and the softcover weighs 2.6 pounds. The weight difference is a material difference. The faux leather cover is going to add quite a bit of weight, and then the denser, nice matte paper in the hardcover is going to add a little bit of weight as well. My softcover is thicker than my hardcover, which I think is interesting. It's like about somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 inch thicker. And I'm not sure if that is due to the paper expanding or maybe it's just something I don't know about, but that's just how it is for me. Now, I did notice that it's easier to open the hardcover a little wider due to the greater flexibility of the spine. Like the softcover has a fairly flexible spine, but once you get to the middle, you can't open it too far without worrying about actually like cracking the actual cover. Like you can split that cover, which would be really bad. So now we're going to look at the printing. Got a page marked out. So the colors are a little higher contrast and a little more vivid on the hardcover. So if you look, I hope the camera can pick it up. The grass here behind Destro is a little brighter. I would say it looks like there's a little more yellow in it. And that could be due to this like being a white paper and this being more of an off-white. And this isn't a bright white, it's just kind of a standard white. But if you look at this lower panel, the purple is richer, the black's darker. Like this is a black, whereas this looks more like a dark, dark gray. And even the gradient in the Vadum is, the yellow's brighter here down to the purple, which is a little richer, I would say. The way I would describe it is that the hardcover is what you remember through your nostalgia goggles, whereas the softcover is probably closer to what it originally looked like because comics in the 80s were printed on a newsprint. Now the softcover is a lot easier to find and will be less expensive. So that makes it a very attractive option. And I do think that if you take care of the softcover, it will last a long time. So you're going to need it in a room that doesn't get a lot of sunlight, in a room that is low humidity. Keep it very dry and just make sure that it's not too crowded on the shelf so that the paper can breathe. It sounds weird, but that's what's needed. The hardcover will be easier to care for due to the quality of the paper, the build, and that box that holds everything together. I'm actually storing my box on its side so that all of the hardcovers are just stacked flat, so there's no extra stress on the spines. But either of these is a great way to experience the story. Larry Hama's G.I. Joe is legendary for a reason. A lot of people in my age group who are reading comics in the early 80s, this is why they read comics. I think some people, this was their entry into the medium. It kind of was for me. I was reading comics sporadically before that, but when G.I. Joe came out, that's when I dove like headfirst. Like G.I. Joe was the first comic I read monthly. This ruined the cartoon for me because this was so much more like complex and interesting and rooted in reality. For most of it, towards the later half, it does get a little more outlandish. And I would say the cartoon kind of inspires a little bit of that. But this is definitely a must-read. Thanks for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and share with a friend.